With the last week's update for Space Marine 2, Saber Interactive added in some hardware support for the PlayStation 5 Pro, and we've now gone and taken a quick look to see how it holds up. In contrast to those games that just give one blanket PlayStation 5 Pro mode, which was very much Mark Cerny's original pitch for this PS5 Pro, Space Marine 2 still has both the quality mode and performance mode options that you would see on the PlayStation 5, and these give you the same 30 FPS frame rate and 60 FPS frame rate targets, respectively. But with the beefier GPU in the PS5 Pro and with PSSR support, Saber is able to increase those target resolutions and additionally ramp up some of the other graphic settings before they apply upscaling. But to start off with, let's look strictly at the resolutions, where the PS5 Pro pretty much solves one of the main weaknesses of the game on the base PS5. Performance mode in particular is rather blurry or soft on the standard console thanks to having a 720p to 1080p render resolution before upscaling all the way to 4K using FSR2. On PS5 Pro, that resolution range is now 1080p to 1440p before upscaling, and that matches the quality mode from the base PS5. It just adds so much more clarity to the image while retaining that 60 FPS performance, and having that base resolution be so much higher means that the PSSR upscaling used here doesn't need to work anywhere near as hard to get good looking results. This will likely be the go-to mode for many players because it works really nicely for this style of game with its mix of gunplay and reaction-based melee. Now, PSSR has on occasion been a bit problematic for visual quality through the upscaling process. Some games work great, others not so great or have niggling issues. Space Marine 2 though looks absolutely pristine in pretty much every single situation. There's no added shimmering or noise that we can see compared to the standard PS5's implementation of FSR2. Honestly, this looks really good and really very sharp, especially since we have the higher base resolution for the game to work from. The performance mode also benefits from the slightly higher clock speed that the PS5 Pro's CPU is able to reach. This game is often very CPU limited on the base PS5, and while it's not a locked 60 FPS here by any means, the dips now aren't anywhere near as bad, and it will be much better at sticking above that VRR baseline that the PS5 maintains. So, on the surface level, PS5 Pro Performance Mode is just going to be a like-for-like visually with the base PS5 Quality Mode then, right? Well, not quite. It is pretty close, but Saber has definitely done a pass to balance the other graphic settings as well. There's things like ground detail being maybe one notch below the base PS5 Quality Mode, and the shadow map cascade and the level of detail is also closer to the base PS5's Performance Mode than it is Quality. So there are definitely trade-offs being made. The higher resolution and the 60 FPS combined does make this the best experience on the whole. But the visual fidelity has absolutely not been dropped for the PS5 Pro's quality mode. Per Saber Interactive's write-up, this has got a very wide resolution range, coming all the way from a native full 4K down to a potential 1080p if it needs to, and then it uses PSSR there to pick up any of the slack to get it back up to 4K. That's bound to be the case since all of the effects also seem to have been taken a step up over the base PS5's quality mode as well, pushing the GPU harder. We're not going to do any pixel counting here, but even if the end result of having this higher quality shadows, the better texture filtering and all of the other things means that the absolute resolution isn't able to maintain that full 4K anywhere near as well, the benefit of this approach is that it is, air quotes, future-proofed for future consoles. A leap in performance for the next generation will allow that console to be at the upper end of this resolution range here, and obviously you get all of the benefits of all of the improved visual effects as well. Now, whether that's the actual intent here or not, it is still good to see this kind of thing being applied, and I'd like to see more developers have this kind of maxed out philosophy to those dynamic resolution ranges, even if you can't get the console to really stick to that level. What would make this potentially even better is if a frame rate limit toggle is also included further down the line. And so, all in all, Space Marine 2's latest update is a big success and a boon for PS5 Pro owners. The console's improved CPU helps with that frame rate, the GPU powers both resolution and visual detail increases at both graphical presets. PSSR seems to work pretty well in this instance without some of the drawbacks that we are seeing elsewhere. that's all that we've got for this quick look at Space Marine 2 on PS5 Pro. If you have enjoyed this, please do like, subscribe, the usual YouTube things, and hopefully we will see you again soon. Goodbye!
Thank you, brother.